Hello there folks, I'm RGB from RJBTV, and we're gonna get down to business right from the start with Freyja going up against Only1. I figured I am gonna stop using introduction screens because I kind of feel like they're pointless. I really just like to get down to business right from the start instead of, having an introduction section that doesn't really serve much of a purpose, because I can just introduce the players, the setting, the scenario, what's happening while we are in the game, waiting for the players to do something within the first 2 minutes, because usually most of the time not much happens. I got a lot of time to talk about all these things right here at the start. So we have Only1, a new player on the block, an amazing Zerg player in team games, an amazing player on everything really, considered to be perhaps the best Zerg player in team games. Amongst these top-level players that you see on fastest map. He's also really good on the ladder. I've seen him be within the top 50 on the ladder, which is kind of crazy, but so is Freyja here on the green Terran at the top middle of the map. Also have seen him within the top 50 on the ladder. I think he is actually within the top 50 right at this point in time. I'm not sure. I'd have to check. I might have to check. But the bottom line is he's a great player, and he won game number 1 against Only1, playing Protoss against Terran. I think Only1 was on the Terran in the previous game. It's been a little bit too long since the last video. There's been too much time in between my videos. I should really just be more consistent with making the videos, but at least I am making videos. It's better than not making any at all, I would say. Also, at this point, I'm just rambling about random things, really. I'm just rambling. Perhaps that's what these videos are becoming, just me rambling about random things that are not really about the games themselves, but perhaps that is what I like doing at this point, I guess. So we have Nexus first there, from Only1. Going to the double gateway and the gas. Something that I personally do not like that much, but it is something that he appears to like a whole lot. And he's up against Freyja here on the middle spawn location. Went for a barracks first, into a supply depot, into a barracks, into a barracks, into a supply depot. So it's a triple barracks bull order where the Marines come out 14 seconds faster than if you go for a supply depot before your very first barracks. But he's actually discontinuing Marine production for a little bit because he wants to build a second command center. Whether I agree or disagree, I don't know, but he doesn't seem to be in danger at this exact moment in time because he knows that Only1 went for the double gateway after a Nexus, which kind of removes the possibility of really getting counterattacked because there's just no units out on the map for Only1 to do any damage with. So skipping on some Marine production to get that command center is actually perhaps the best choice at this exact point in time because there's no risk involved. There's no risk involved whatsoever. The person who's actually at risk, I would say, is Only1, because historically speaking, I've seen many games with Nexus into double gateway, into Cybercore, into a very late Forge, and most of the times games that start out like this, the Terran has the option to go for a very fast Academy before the command center and just go for Marine medic stim and bust down the front door. You might even see him try it with these Marines right now. He might try to prevent the construction of a choke because he simply has more units than Only1 has zealots to defend against these Marines. He can maybe not even protect the front. Maybe he can, I'm not too sure. Maybe he's just looking for the zealot that's out there on the map. Because that zealot just earlier chased the SCV while the Marine out of that base, so he knew it was there. So actually Freyja is paying a lot of attention to what has left the base. And he's picking those units that have left the base, up, left, and right, just to get the tiniest of advantages imaginable over Only1. Reducing the amount of units he has by 1 or 2 could just end up saving his life later down the line, because that's something that I've seen happen quite often, is where 1 or 2 units, too many or too few, end up deciding a game, even on fastest map. You see the whole lot on normal maps, but on fastest map that can happen too, because these players play with the same amount of control, focus, macro, and decision making, I guess, as they would on the ladder. They are, after all, very high on the ladder. So goes in with the Zealots to check if there's something worth attacking or walking through to get a feel on how many Marines Freyja has produced. And the amount of Marines he has produced could be an indication of what he has been doing on the side. Like, for example, Bolockomancer, because he skipped out on Marine production. That's something you can somewhat deduce from the amount of Marines that you see. He's also trying to bait them forward to try and kill the Marines with the Dark Templar, but the Dark Templar is getting surrounded there by Frey, who does not slip up even one single second. He noticed the distortion and immediately scanned, lost the least amount of Marines, and the Dark Templar cheese attempt by Only1. I always consider Dark Templars to be a cheese. Maybe they're not, but I find them kind of cheesy, where you're relying on your opponent not preparing for every single option that you have as a Protoss. The Dark Templars don't really work all that often. Most of the time they work if the Terran is trying to cut corners everywhere. And in this case, Freyja is perhaps one of the few players who does not cut a single corner. Not a single one. Marines are out on the map. He's waiting for the shuttle to arrive. Shuttle gets spotted there by the Marine. Marines are stimming back to try and find it. Scans it, finds it, kills it. Freyja is on point. He is reading Only1 like a book. The Marines are on the side, spotted the shuttle. Only1 wasn't expecting the Marines to be out on the map. Snipes it, takes it down, buys himself another minute of time, maybe even more, because he's still waiting for the Reaver. The shuttle is out on the map, but he's waiting for the double Reaver. He also doesn't really have any Zealots, because he lost a couple of them, and then decided not to produce more of them, because he wanted to go for, I guess, more gas. He has a lot of gas there on the side to get upgrades. He's already got the Stargate on the way. He's got triple Robo, he's getting Reavers, he's getting upgrade for ground, he's got Storm upgrades, getting Kantarian Amulet, which is Templar Energy, getting Shuttle Speed, and level 1 attack for the ground as well, and already building a Corsair. It's a very fast Corsair. So there comes drop number 2. It's a High Templar and a Zealot. And this pathway on the side here is actually wide open for him to go in from, but he's deciding not yet to go in. Maybe he's waiting for shuttle number 2 to arrive, but I think he should just go for it, because sometimes if you try to set up the perfect drop, a double drop, you could end up giving the opponent too much time to prepare for your perfect drop, which this does feel like it. Although he's using the Reaver in the front to draw units away from the back. This is actually perhaps smarter than I thought it would be. Goes in with both drops, unloads the Reavers behind the high ground, flies with shuttle number 2. Shuttle number 2 unloads the High Templar, is very close. The SCVs run to safety. Storm happens, kills 5 SCVs, which is not too bad, but not too great either. That actually works out quite well for Frey. He loses units in the front, loses a tank, supply depot, and a bunker. But the drops themselves don't turn out to really do that much damage. I think he actually lost more with the drop, the double Reaver, the High Templar, the Zealot, the shuttle, than he killed. You can prove me wrong on that one, because I might be wrong. Shuttle there on the side. I think there's a High Templar in there. It's 4 High Templars. He's not going to send this in all on its own. He's going to want to combine this with something else. He's keeping it there on the side. Once keeping it on the side, he is preparing another drop, as his triple Robo is quickly producing more. Level 1 attack finished up. I see most players actually go for armor first to keep the drops alive for longer. Tank drop coming in from Freyja, but all the cannons finished up just on time. Unloads the tank. Tank sieges up. Tank doesn't get a chance to shoot because he got 3 cannons, and 3 cannons always do the trick against one single tank. Now, if he had 2 tanks, he could have shot on the probes, but the probes were already doing the safety, so they did stay alive. Now, 7 drop comes in there on the bottom left. It's a double drop. It's a triple drop. Unloads this one first to kill units. Flies with another one and another one on the right side. 4 High Templars coming in hot, storming everything. But the Templars do seem to not kill the SCVs. And somehow the SCVs stay alive. They are on low HP. Another one comes in. Reaver tries to get close, but Marines coming in from Freyja try and take it down. They got 7 barracks. That's a lot of Marines. The Marines have level 1 attack finished up. They're getting level 2 attack at this exact moment. Level 1 attack for ground and air, both on the way at the same time. Both on the way at the exact same time. So the SCVs are on low HP on actually. They might not be. Did he just not lose or take any damage? I think he was on like 63 and went down to like 55, so he did lose 8, but losing 8 for such a big combination drop of like 50 Protoss supply is actually a really good defense. That's actually something you will accept every single time. That's something you shouldn't be worried about as a Terran. He also didn't lose that many Marines. The tanks are well spread, so the tanks won't die to storms or Reaver drops that easily. They're covering most of the base except the backside. The backside is wide open. Shuttle there going over the left side, but there's vision from the tank, engineering bay, and the Marine. Same on the other side. Tries to go for the frontal attack to just kill. Actually, the bunkers are empty, so this is doing a great job. Unloads the Reaver yet again to try and get a shot on the tank. Tank kills the Reaver. Zealot's going down. Drop comes in over the right side. Forced to unload too early, prematurely. Storms on the Marines, but the kill's not too great. Drop number 2 comes in as well. Storms on the SCVs. The SCVs run to safety to the top side there, and they do make their escape, and they do return. But nothing of importance dies yet again. Only1 is pulling off a lot of very difficult to coordinate drops. Like, he's perhaps making life a little bit too difficult on himself because he's going for triple drops, attacking things left and right, and still arriving at the SCVs, but he's not killing the SCVs. But these drop combinations have been very, very tricky. This is very difficult to do. Double, triple drops at the same time. Difficult to coordinate, but he's making it work. He's not getting results, but the drops are, you know, getting in, and he's controlling all the units individually all at the same time. So now he has triple forge. Upgrades are on, well, still 1 attack. He's got level 2 attack, almost finished up with 1 armor, also on the way. Goes on the bottom, goes for the top, snipes the shuttles on both locations, but one of them does unload. But the SVs are already on the bottom side, and they do make their escape yet again. Sadly, for Only1, yet again, no results. Supply counts are about the same. Freyja is still only on triple factory. Actually, a pretty good drop on the front. Pretty good storm. A lot is happening. When the drops come, a lot is happening. So more gateways on the way. Looks like he's not planning on going for carriers this time around. I've seen Only1 go for carriers in a couple of games. This time around, it seems to be purely focused on drops and gateway production. And I think that is, in this case, actually a pretty good idea. Getting armor upgrades for air, shield weapon, and armor for ground. Attacks over the front, comes in over the right side. Goes in all the way. Templars do unload. SCVs all splitting up. Dodges the storms in both directions. Is there one more? No, there is not. Very well defended. That was actually really, really intense from Frey. He was controlling Marines, dodging to the left, dodged to the right, and still controlled the Marines all at the same time. I really just keep on being super impressed by Frey. I really think he has the talent, the makings to become the #1. I'm just continuously so impressed by his play. This time around, though, a little bit too far away. Does he has energy? Kills some SCVs, but not a lot of them. I think the Templars were just out of range, or he was controlling the wrong ones. That drop, he was within range, but it just didn't work out. He made mistakes. Only1 made some mistakes. So now he tries the front. Yet again, the front has been taking damage over time. He's going to try to unload some Templars on the high ground. Is he going to fly in with this one? Not too sure. Unloads on the tanks, goes in, turrets are firing, keeps it alive. Templar goes in very deep. He's going to unload right next to the tank and storms on the SCVs. No, it gets taken out, gets sniped just on time. Builds a wall in the front to keep the Zealots out. Drop there on the right side. He's just going into overdrive and sending and sending and sending and sending units into Freyja's base, but still does not manage to achieve anything at all. Freyja is just not even once making a mistake. He's not even once making a mistake. The amount of oversight, precision, and control has got me drooling and foaming at the mouth. Model drop comes in over the bottom. 1-1-2 there on the Zealots. He's got 0-1 on the tanks. He got 4 armories. He unloads on top of the tanks in the front. He's going to try to do a classic breakthrough, but the raids in the front actually do some damage on the shuttles. Take one of them down. Not everything unloads, but he does soften up the front, maybe just a little bit enough. More Templars coming in to try and kill whatever is behind. I think perhaps this was not the best choice of attack. Although the amount of tanks Freyja has is quite low. He's got one on the high ground, another on the high ground. So 3 tanks on the high ground. There's a dropship over there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tanks in the front. Only has 3 factories actually. A lot of gas. He's going to build more factories right now, I assume. I think that is the one upside of Only1's rapid-fire playstyle, is that Freyja is always busy defending and keeping his SCVs alive, that he's not actually building. Oh, gets very close, but actually this might be the one where he hits something. 13 kills, it's something. It's not much, but it's something. At this point, Freyja is really just getting slowed down as Only1 just keeps getting more upgrades and keeps growing. But at the same time, of course, Freyja is also getting his upgrades. Now on 1-2 there for the ground. Marines are on 0-2. He's even a level 3 attack. He's lifting up barracks now to open more space. Drop over the front, gets sniped there by the Marines. Nothing unloads of significance. Zealots did, but the Templars did not. He's trying so hard, but Freyja is just on fire, on point. Wait, no. I spoke too soon. Drop comes in. This time around, it might arrive on location. No, it does not. The Reaver just... The shuttle had to be right here to unload the Reaver. It was right here, which means he cannot unload the Reaver because the Reaver cannot stand here. It can only unload right over there. You got very close to being able to unload the Reaver. And of course the question is, will the Reaver survive 3 tanks shooting on it? Or will it not? Scans the entire enemy base. What does he see? Sees the front section. Scans the middle, actually, to see where the shuttles are flying. And doesn't see the shuttles because they're on the right side. Also, proxy base, they're on the right side, happening at the same time. Well, flies in. Barracks spots drop. Raids coming in. Starts unloading. Marines in between. On the scene. Templars very close, but too far away from the SCVs yet again. The responses are just a little bit too fast. The Only1 just not having success. A lot of other players would have taken large amounts of damage from this approach that Only1 is having, but Freyja is just not letting it through. Freyja is just not letting these attacks go through. Actually, this one, nope. Everything dies yet again. Level 2 attack there on the raids, doing a great job taking out the shuttles, which do have level 1 armor, actually. Level 2 armor is not on the way. He's not getting any more air upgrades. He really should get the more air upgrades, because that will keep the shuttles alive for longer. He's on 2 to 3 for his ground, though. Small little front attack gonna happen, but there's too much in the front. Also, Zealous tanks on the high ground. So, attacking the front, he will have to at least kill these 2 tanks on the high ground before they will be remotely effective. More scans coming down. Scans the middle, scans the side, scans the main. And doesn't see any drops, doesn't see any carriers. He does see there's gateways everywhere. So without the carriers or stargates on the map, it would be safe to assume that he can stick to his current method of defense and attack. Is that a nuke? Oh, that's 2 tanks. Goes in over the left. And the right is wide open. This time it might be working. Marines sniping, Templars unloading, Templars storming. Kills 22. Wait, no, did he? No, he didn't kill 22. Maybe he did. Maybe I'm bad at counting. Did he have 69 to 79? Bottom line is he killed something. Did it hurt Freyja? No. No, it did not. He has 2,200 minerals, now below 1,000. And he's got 40. Oh, drop comes in. It's a tank drop. Gonna unload. Gonna dematrix on those tanks. Gonna hit the probes. Does he have a scan? No, he doesn't have a scan. He has a scan and he kills the probes. Beautiful, beautiful job. Beautiful job. Scans at the exact last moment. Defensive matrixed tanks do the trick. Only1 thought he was safe, because he had the Arbiter on top of the minerals, but the probes get scanned and they die. Not enough cannons on the side. Only1 is caught slipping up, making the mistakes that Freyja has not made even once this game. Freyja has not even once made a mistake on defense. And he's slowly adding on more factories. It's actually not that many factories. It's mostly a lot of stargates. That's how many machine shops? He's got 5 machine shops, and he's got 5 without. It's only 10 factories, but he's got a huge army. 1 armor, 3 attack. Drop comes in, flies right into the raids. Splits them up. He's gonna load on top of the tanks. Great storms. Are they good enough? No, they're not. So that's the thing. He felt like he was forced to give up on hitting the SCVs because he flew right into the raids, and he just gave up on the drop. He didn't believe in it. And now I think Freyja has the opportunity to go for a counterattack. He's also been killing this proxy base there on the right side while defending with a minimal amount of tanks. We might have a recall coming in, but will the recall ever really arrive? It might if he takes this path over the top side. He might actually get in. Does he have a lot of units? Yes, he does. Reavers, High Templars, Zealots. He's not gonna go in over the side. He might actually go over the front. Flies into the turrets. This is not gonna work. Goes in. Recalls in the base. The drop came in over the left side as well. This was not a great. It was not a great choice. No. I get the idea, but I feel like he's just getting desperate at this point. Attack there from Freyja across the map. Templar has stormed. The Greens and tanks do survive. No, they will die to the Zealots coming in. Proxy base on the left getting killed, although it's not really a proxy base yet. There's not much there. Vultures entering the middle of the map, ready to attack on the Zealots. Looks like we're kind of at a stalemate situation at the moment, but the situation does look better for Freyja at the moment because he's adding on a lot more factories. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 more. It's got 14, I think. 15. He's got 15 factories, which, you know, is better than 10. He can now afford to just lose some of his tanks and vultures and be capable of easily replacing them. More there on the side. This drop is going in all the way. And there's nothing left to unload. It was a dud. It was an empty one. Freyja slips up to... He just gives up. He just gives up. Like, this entire game has just been Freyja defending to absolute perfection, and Only1 just got more desperate as the game went on and just gave up. I understand why he gave up when you're playing against a defense that is this solid, no mistakes made. The drops were tricky. Some of them were triple drops. He managed to defend against triple drops without making mistakes, without losing a lot of units, without taking any material damage. Just every single step of the way, Freyja was in complete control over every single process happening. Now he's minding the maps, got vision everywhere. Drops are never ever gonna get in. Never ever gonna get through with this much vision on the map. He could hold on for a little longer, I'm sure. Only1 could have held on for a little longer, because he did have, once again, like 78 probes. He has, I'd say, like 20 gateways. He could stay in the game. He just doesn't believe anymore. So that's game number 2 between these two. I hope you enjoyed this one. I did. I was highly impressed by how Freyja tackled this problem, how he dealt with all the options. So we'll see you next time when they play another game. Game number 3 with Freyja against Only1. Coming soon. Not sure how soon, but it should be somewhat soon.